So yesterday, Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, made this absolutely frivolous filing attacking federal Judge Lewis Kaplan and accusing Judge Kaplan of having a, quote, mentor-mentee relationship with E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, when they both worked at a 1,000-plus lawyer firm that overlapped somewhere in the early 1990s. This after, of course, the jury in the E. Jean Carroll defamation case against Donald Trump awarded E. Jean Carroll $83.3 million. These were very serious accusations that Alina Habba was hurling at a very well-respected federal judge, Judge Lewis Kaplan, who had already threatened to lock up Alina Habba for her other frivolous behavior and antics during the trial. Then today, E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, at 10:59 a.m. sent a letter saying that everything Alina Habba put in her letter attacking you, Judge Kaplan, is an absolute lie, it is defamatory, and Alina Habba should be subject to Rule 11 sanctions for her sanctionable behavior in casting these aspersions at you, Judge Kaplan, at me, and we are now in the post-verdict stage. Donald Trump lost $83.3 million, and now Alina Habba just wants to whine and come up with excuses and attack the judicial system to spread conspiracies with Donald Trump across social media and across right-wing media so they can say, oh, here's the reason why we lost. Well, after E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, called out Alina Habba at 10:59 a.m., at 1:03 p.m., Alina Habba sent a letter and said, whoa, I was just asking questions. I was not attacking Judge Kaplan or you, Roberta Kaplan. Come on, I think that this is all resolved now. Can't we just move on? I didn't mean to actually imply there was misconduct by the judge. I just wanted to know. I think we can all just move on. As Ron Filipkowski, our editor-in-chief, put it, less than 2 hours after Carroll's lawyer filed a scathing response and threatened sanctions against Alina Habba for her frivolous filing yesterday, Habba says she now wants to just forget the whole thing and move on. Here's the letter that Alina Habba just sent to Judge Lewis Kaplan. Dear Judge Kaplan, I write in response to the letter submitted earlier today by plaintiff's lead counsel, Roberta Kaplan. In her letter, Ms. Kaplan mischaracterizes the substance of a letter recently submitted on behalf of Donald Trump, who Alina Habba refers to as President Trump, and makes inflammatory and unwarranted accusations against the undersigned, meaning against Alina Habba. Contrary to Ms. Kaplan's contention, there are no, quote, false allegations of a mentor-mentee relationship between Your Honor and Ms. Kaplan contained in my January 29th letter. The purpose of the letter was simply to inquire as to whether there is any merit to a recently published New York Post story which reported on the alleged existence of such a relationship. Alina Habba said, I was just asking questions about this New York Post article. That's what I was doing. I wasn't accusing you of having a mentor-mentee relationship. Alina Habba goes on to say, to be clear, this claim originated solely from the New York Post, where it was purportedly sourced from a, quote, former Paul Weiss partner who asked not to be named. I played no part in uncovering this information, have never communicated with the unnamed Paul Weiss partner, and have no personal knowledge as to whether the information contained in the article is true or false. As I stated in my January 29th letter, I learned for the first time about the purported mentor-mentee relationship from the New York Post. Although I am quoted in the article, my statements were given in response to the reporter's request for comment, which per the article was also sought from Kaplan, Heckler, and Fink, E. Jean Carroll's lawyers. The point of my January 29th letter was to verify whether the information contained in the New York Post article is accurate, since Ms. Kaplan now denied that there was ever a mentor-mentee relationship between herself and Your Honor. this issue has seemingly been resolved. And there's a footnote there. We thank the court for its attention to this matter. Signed, Alina Habba. And the footnote says, there are, however, various other issues relating to the court's conduct, including potential bias and hostility towards defense counsel, that will be raised in post-trial motions and on appeal. Alina Habba's corruption is exceeded by her incompetence, and even there in the footnote, she wants to attack Judge Lewis Kaplan after falsely accusing him of having a mentor-mentee relationship. Well, let's take a look at Alina Habba's letter that she sent to Judge Kaplan on January 29th, and let's see if she was just asking questions. Dear Judge Kaplan, this letter is submitted on behalf of Donald Trump. As a result of a story published in the New York Post, defense counsel learned for the first time of allegations that Your Honor, while a partner at Paul Weiss, it's a law firm, had a mentor-type relationship with plaintiff's lead counsel, Roberta Kaplan. Most concerning is that the article was brought to the New York Post's attention by an unnamed partner at Paul Weiss who was aware of the close relationship between you and Miss Kaplan and stated that, quote, Lou, referring to federal Judge Lewis Kaplan, Lou was like her mentor. The underlying defamation case tried last year and the damages trial completed last week were litigations in which there were many clashes between Your Honor and defense counsel. We believe and will argue on appeal that the court was overtly hostile towards defense counsel and Donald Trump and displayed preferential treatment towards plaintiff's counsel. Indeed, the ruling's tone and demeanor of the bench raised significant concerns even before the New York Post's investigative journalism unearthed these new facts. Sounds like you're saying that these facts are real. They unearthed these new facts. It was New York Post's investigative journalism. You go on to say, if you truly worked with Ms. Kaplan in any capacity, especially if there was a mentor-mentee relationship, that fact should have been disclosed before any case involving these parties were permitted to proceed before trial. This issue is particularly concerning since plaintiff's other lead counsel, Sean Crowley, served as Your Honor's law clerk. Again, attacking the law clerks again. Then they cite judicial canons accusing Judge Kaplan of violating his judicial ethics. And then it goes on to say, we thank this court for its prompt attention to this troubling matter. And for those who saw my hot take in response to this letter on January 29th, when it was released on Monday, you probably saw me get more angry than I normally do on any video, which I try to be as level-headed as I can be. Because look, as a law professor, as someone who's been a member of the bar for over 13 years as well, this type of conduct by Alina Habba is so shameful to the legal profession. This continuing attack on judges like Lewis Kaplan and on great lawyers like Roberta Kaplan for their work, and this innuendo and rumors and gossip that results in MAGA cult members then engaging in death threats and their behavior and spreading these lies outside of the courtroom when Donald Trump was a loser, where he lost an $83.3 million verdict before another jury, the same way he lost before a jury in May of 2023, the same way in a criminal case the Trump organization lost before a jury in the Manhattan District Attorney criminal case against the Trump organization, the same way that Donald Trump was indicted by 4 separate grand juries. That's the process that I love. That's the process that I teach about. So when I see Alina Habba saying, oh, the New York Post's investigative piece is saying these things about you, Judge, and you're attacking the credibility of a jurist like Judge Lewis Kaplan, a by-the-book law and order person, it just makes me angry. And it is a really sad and pathetic thing to see that this is what MAGA has done to the Republican Party, relying on people like Alina Habba. And by the way, when you go and you look at this New York Post article, the headline of the article that Alina Habba purports to rely on quotes Alina Habba as basically saying she intends to rely on this article as a conflict of interest assertion in her various appeals that she intends to file. Of course, Roberta Kaplan then called this out, said, I have no mentor-mentee relationship. Paul Weiss is a law firm that has over 1,000 lawyers. I was a junior associate. Judge Lewis Kaplan was a senior partner. We overlapped for a short period of time. I never spoke to him. I had no interaction with him. I was on none of his cases. He quickly was elevated to the federal bench in 1994, but I have no connections with him. This is false, and I'm seeking sanctions. So then Alina Habba's like, I was just asking questions. I wasn't actually defaming the reputation of a judge and lawyers based on a New York Post headline that cites me as one of the bases of this attack. It's just such reprehensible conduct right here. But Alina Habba backing down just hours after Roberta Kaplan's letter. I hope Judge Lewis Kaplan still takes action. I think he will against Alina Habba. To be continued. If you like journalism like this, support us at patreon.com/MeidasTouch and have a great day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.